Hi, everyone. We'll get into the show in just a sec. I just wanted to give a quick apology up front. The second half of this show has some technical difficulties. Matt's microphone took it upon itself to disconnect from the computer, so his audio is recorded on his internal laptop mic. It was bound to happen one day. It's not optimal, but it still sounds pretty good. Everyone else's mics are fine. I don't know why Matt's mic hates him. He's a great guy. Anyway, enjoy the show.
Podcast Party. Descent into Avernus.
Previously on Podcast Party, Descent into Avernus. My name is Ofelia Liadon. My friends and I did something awful, and a powerful man named Amric Van Thamper knows our secret. As long as he holds it over us, we have no choice but to do what he asks, even if it means accepting a dangerous mission from the Flaming Fist, the mercenary police force in the city of Baldur's Gate. A Flaming Fist officer named Darman Zaj wants us to ferret out and destroy a secret temple dedicated to the evil gods known as the Dead Three. The only lead we had to finding the temple was a spy named Tarina, whom we found gambling at the Elfsong Tavern. It turns out Tarina had problems of her own. Before she would give us any information about the Dead Three, she demanded that we protect her from a gang of pirates led by Leghard Deadeye Cadaverous. We agreed to serve Tarina as her bodyguards in exchange for more information about the temple, and sure enough, Deadeye and his men showed up at the tavern looking for Tarina. We tried to handle things diplomatically, but Deadeye didn't come to talk. And now we're fighting for our lives.
All right, Hall will continue his assault on Deadeye. Mom making 2 mace attacks.
Mom.
The first is within 8, unfortunately missing as Deadeye dodges out of the way. And the second, a natural 20.
Ooh.
Hall just slams him on the back of the head, doing 12 bludgeoning damage.
Ooh. Of course.
Yeah, Deadeye's looking pretty rough.
Of course, the first crit of the whole game is an NPC.
Is an NPC?
Well, excuse me, I critted at looking out the window.
I'm sorry.
That's true.
I looked the shit out of that window.
You sure did.
Nobody's looked out a window better than that.
And no one ever will.
That's good.
We'll always have the window of the Elfsong Tavern.
Ofelia, it's your turn.
I will once again attempt to cut this bandit from stem to stern.
Do it.
I hope I will. Because your girl's working with 2 hit points. That is a 23.
Ooh, way to go.
Oh, 23, a massive hit. How much damage do you do?
6 piercing damage.
Oh yeah, you pierce him right through the stem and right out the stern. He is dead ski.
And then I suppose she will run around the back.
Past the sleeping pirates.
Past the sleeping pirates.
Okay. As you pass by one of the pirates who's sleeping on the ground, you hear him just sort of like mutter in his sleep. He's like,
She's going to run to the other side of the table opposite this really impressively murderous halfling.
Okay, very cool. Renascence, you're up.
Renascence is going to try to finish off Deadeye with a swing of his longsword.
Okay.
With advantage. That will be a 22.
Woohoo!
A 22 will definitely hit.
And that's going to do 6 points of slashing damage.
Excellent. Yeah, he is not looking fantastic, but, he still has some fight in him. Anything else, Renascence?
You're going to be sorry you came in here, Deadeye. I gave you every opportunity to leave. And that is the end of my turn.
All right. The remaining bandit will turn to the halfling who is harrying him and says, "Get out of my face, runt!" and attempt to slash her with his scimitar. And will hit, doing 5 slashing damage. And you hear her go, "What the hell? Come on, man!"
What did she think was gonna happen?
Exactly, right?
The bad part of fighting.
There are no other bandits besides that one and the other two who are asleep. However, it is now Deadeye's turn. Deadeye did not like being crit in the face, so he will turn to Hall Knightley and spit at him directly in the eyes, and Hall goes, "Ugh!" And then that's a dirty down low move, and then he will take 3 attacks on Hall Knightley with his scimitar, doing a non-natural 20 on the first one, which will hit, a 10 on the second one, which will miss, and a crit with the dagger. Oh boy, okay. Okay, so that is a total of 20 damage.
Oh.
And Hall Knightley is not looking fantastic, I'll be honest. He's looking pretty rough. You see 2 massive bleeding wounds in his side. He's like, "Ugh, gotta do it for Mom. Gotta do it for Mom." Hylan, you're up.
Okay. I'm going to use my time-tested move.
Take it home.
I was just going to say, 3rd time's a charm, duck, and shoot with my short bow.
Okay.
Oh, I got a 9.
Hey, unfortunately, that's not enough. You fire your arrow, and maybe you just released a teeny bit too early as it sails over his head.
I'll go back around the corner.
Tarina has run out of bolts in her hand crossbow. She's like, I did not expect to be carrying this many. I did not. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and just let you guys kill him. Is that cool?
Great.
Fantastic.
Who only stocks their crossbow with 3 bolts?
Clearly, Tarina.
That's terrible.
She is not a very good person.
Well,
Throw your dice at him. Throw your dice.
Yeah, maybe you can gamble him to death.
Okay. Having been hit. Oh, this is not good. Oh, shit. Could she do that? No, she won't do that. That's really mean. She wouldn't do that. Well, fuck it. She will. She says, I don't like you at all! And she puts out her hand, and a massive wave of force expels from her hand in a southward direction. And I would like Renascence, you, the bandit, and Deadeye are all caught in a massive cone of force. Make a con save.
I got a 13.
Okay, that saves. You only take 5 thunder damage and are not pushed. The bandit fails and is pushed 10 feet through you, Renascence. And just like broken, just broken in half. You hear an enormous snap, and the pirate just goes, oh, and just is broken in 2 and flies to the wall and is dead. And then Deadeye will also make his con save. And he makes his, so only takes 5 damage. But he's definitely looking rough. Corbin, you're up.
I raise my index finger towards the halfling and I say, please don't do that.
Corbin is going to run back towards the middle of the room in between the 2 sleeping bandits. And he's going to look at Deadeye and he's going to cast Sacred Flame on him.
Okay.
So he needs a dexterity saving throw. Ilmata burns you, pirate.
What's your DC?
13.
Okay, he rolled a 13 on the dot.
So nothing happens.
Fortunately not. A giant sort of glowing light appears over Deadeye's head, and he dodges out of the way as it just lances through the floor.
And that's it.
Okay.
Slippery little sucker.
Hall is coughing up blood, and he's going, you piece of shit. And he smashes Mom twice. Nope, he misses on the first one with an 8. And he gets a natural 1, clearly bleeding from multiple wounds. He is not doing well. Ofelia, it is your turn.
Ofelia jumps up over toward the far end so that she is adjacent with Deadeye, and she stabs him with her rapier. Rolled a 14.
A 14 is not enough, unfortunately. Just barely. He just arches back, and you see the rapier just go whoosh and stabs right past his face.
Ofelia says, You're a little faster than I gave you credit for.
I turn to the side. I spit a big gob of blood on the floor of the gambling hall. I raise my tired right arm and I swing my longsword again, still with advantage. And that is going to be a 23.
Yes!
Ooh, nice.
A 23 hits. How much damage do you do?
I do 3. 3 points of slashing damage.
Okay. It is not enough to kill him, but he is very rough. He is super duper rough. And now it is his turn. He coughs up blood. He goes, you know, all you have to do is give that lying, cheating bitch to me, and this would have ended all your troubles. It didn't have to end like this. And then he will attempt to slash at you, Renascence, with his scimitar. 23 to hit.
That will hit.
Oh no.
That is 9 slashing damage.
Oh!
Renascence collapses unconscious in the doorway of the back room.
Okay. He laughs, spits on your body, turns to Hall Knightley and says, "You're next, Broad Eyes," and swings his second of 3 attacks at Hall Knightley. Misses with a 7. And then his final attack with a dagger misses with an 8. It is now Hylan's turn. Hylan, Renascence has completely collapsed in the doorway.
Yeah, I see that. I am furious. I'm going to stand behind him in the doorway again, and I'm gonna shoot.
What does it look like when Hylan's furious?
Her eyes get very wide and unsettlingly golden and bright. And that's a 16.
Okay, you fire your short bow through the air, and just as he did with Tarina in the last round, he parries your arrow in midair, and he just swats it down like a fly, and he says, "Ha ha, nice trick, eh?"
Right. Will I be at disadvantage if I stand over Renascence?
No.
I'm gonna stand over him.
Oh my goodness, okay.
Protect him.
Okay, so you're gonna take up his space, right?
Yep.
Okay, fantastic. Tarina spends her turn cowering under the table. The Halfling Druid, you can only assume is a druid simply because of the spells that she casts, sort of backs off from this violent scene. Her eyes glow a sort of brilliant verdant green, and she casts a spell on Deadeye. She says, "I don't like you very much." And she points her finger at Deadeye, and out of the floor of this room, green roots just spring up and start to wrap themselves around Deadeye's feet.
Great.
I don't like him either. That's what I've been saying this whole time.
He needs to make... he needs to make a... Actually, he doesn't need to do anything. So for the duration, all of the spaces around Deadeye are difficult terrain. When you step into that area, you will need to succeed on a strength saving throw or be restrained by the entangling plants until the spell ends.
How big an area?
It's a 20-foot space, 20 foot by 20 foot. So Ofelia, you're on top of the table, so it doesn't actually affect you. But Hyland, you're in it. Deadeye's in it. Hall is in it.
Great.
It is now Corbin's turn.
Okay, Corbin, seeing all these plants and things, he's very confused by this, but he's going to jump up on the table in front of him and run down to the end of it. Is Deadeye within 15 feet of him?
Yes, he is. Absolutely.
So Corbin is just going to drop his sword he was holding. He doesn't care, and he's going to pull out his whip.
Oh boy.
And he's going to crack it at Deadeye.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
That would be a 16.
A 16 will hit. How much damage do you do?
3 points of slashing damage.
So Corbin, how do you wish this individual to meet his maker?
Yes.
I would like the whip to go around his neck, and I just want to pull it back with a quick jerk, and I just want his life to end.
Awesome.
No suffering, no pain.
Deadeye grasps the whip around his neck, like that scene in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, and he's just like, ah. And then with a quick jerk, you hear it. And Deadeye's hands come off of the whip and hang limply by his side, and then his whole body collapses like a sack of potatoes. We're out of combat at this point, unless you guys want to do anything with those bandits.
I just want to tie
No.
I just want to tie
Yeah.
the bandits up.
Good
I
plan.
don't want to kill them.
Good call.
And then with my bonus action, I would like to say thrive. And I would like to cast Healing Word on Renaissance.
Excellent.
Nice.
How much healing do you give to Renascence?
4 points.
Renascence, you're back in the game, so to speak.
There's also 2 sleepy pirates over here. We got, another 30 seconds or so before they wake up. That's my turn.
Okay. Hall stands up. He goes, "Oh, that sucked." And he looks down at Deadeye and he just kicks him right in the head. And then he puts Mom back on his belt. Seeing that these bandits are essentially the only people left, just runs right between them, sees that they're asleep, and just runs right the fuck down the stairs.
Yeah, that's a good plan. I would like to check Deadeye's body.
Okay.
I will
Right.
stumble blearily over to the other bandit that Corbin isn't tying, and I will tie
you
that
have
one.
tied them both up.
I sort of look over at Corbin, and I say, "See, Corbin, I told you. Stick with me, and everything's going to be just fine. Always trust a paladin."
Your face got a little smushed when you hit the floor. just your nose, mostly. Just want me to push it back? I know medicine.
No, leave
You
it.
sure?
That's a lesson for me.
Good idea.
Hylan, tucked in Deadeye's vest, which is coated with his blood, is a pouch. And you also sort of, checking his body, you see that around his neck are 2 beautiful golden necklaces. He also seems to be pretty well off. On his hand, he has a blackened gold ring with a white pearl set in it, which looks to be quite large and expensive.
Okay, I'm going to relieve him of these items.
Done.
And I'm going to walk over to Corbin and Renaissance. I'm going to hand the one necklace to Renaissance. This is for the soup kitchen. And I'm going to hand one necklace to Corbin. This is for your church. And I'm going to hand the ring to Ofelia. This is to get some healing, hon. You don't look so good.
Thank you.
Hylan, the church runs the soup kitchen, so it's pretty much the same thing. But thank you.
I didn't know that, but now I do. Thank you.
It's called restricted giving. It's all right.
If I write it off on my taxes, is it just one gift then? Or is it 2
you
separate?
You can actually deduct $300 this year, no matter who you are. It's
Great.
little tax advice for everyone out
Who knew
there.
that Corbin was like moonlighting as an accountant? That's awesome.
I rub my hands together to generate some friction and heat between them, and then I put them on my own broken face, and I will lay hands on myself for 3 hit points.
Excellent. The bandits awaken after about 30 or so seconds and then realize that they're tied up. And one of them looks over at you, Renaissance, and goes, what happened? What happened?
Shut it. I kick him in the face.
You would knock him unconscious with one swift boot to the head.
No, don't. Please, Ren, don't do that. He's already down. He's already lost. We don't do that. All right? Please.
All right, Corbin, for you, because I like you. It's time for some answers.
Yeah, Tarita comes out of the room. She says, "Yeah, I wouldn't go in there. You've got to. Well, it's a mess back there under the table. Just don't go back in there." Hey, great job, Deadeye, dead, great, awesome, love it. I couldn't have done a better job myself, not in a million years. And hey, all of you guys are still standing, amazing. Wow.
Start talking.
Oh, yes, that's right. A deal's a deal after all, yeah. So, information, right? Well, I guess, if you want to go after them, it's your choice, but, and she lowers her voice and says, well, several blocks northwest of here is a public bathhouse with a walled garden, and, it's got sort of these weird things, nymphs, I think they call them. Yeah, they're carved into the front gate. You can't miss it. Anyway, followers of the Dead Three have been seen coming and going from the bathhouse, and I'm told, and she puts her hand beside her mouth and says, I'm told there's a secret door inside that leads to a dungeon. And not one of those kind of dungeons. That's where the killers are hiding. So I'm just going to go ahead, and she points at the staircase.
What? Wait, what's the name of...
I don't actually know the name of it, but like I said, it is the only bathhouse within 3 blocks of here. You'll know it from the nymphs. So, good luck. And she puts up 2 thumbs, and she just walks down the stairs. So, at this point, 2 things. Number 1, you have your next port of call, so to speak. The next thing I want you guys to know is a rather important piece of information. Welcome to Level 2. Hi, everybody. The show will be back in just a minute for the second half. We hope you're enjoying Podcast Party Descent into Avernus. This is the first ever actual play podcast from Cast Party, and we really hope that you are having a great time. I know we all are. We're a group of D&D fans who happen to be professional actors, directors, artists, producers, and friends. We're also professional dungeon masters, and we're available to hire for special occasions, parties, corporate team building events, or any time you need an adventure. Right now, we're running online games only, but when we can, we host site-specific live D&D adventure experiences at locations in and around New York City. We also offer free online adventures at least once a month. So check us out at cast-party.com and follow us on Facebook at CastPartyD&D, Twitter at CastParty2, and Instagram at cast_party. On our website, you can also find original artwork of our characters, and we're posting maps, pictures, and other background material to give you some visuals to go along with the awesome story. Our merch store features all the official Cast Party apparel and accessories that the cool kids are wearing. So, if you're not wearing it, then I guess you're not cool. I'm kidding. Of course you're cool. You're listening to our podcast. Anyway, if you enjoy Podcast Party Descent into Avernus, please subscribe to the show, rate us, leave us a review. Heck, we're doing this as a labor of love, and it really helps us a lot. And hey, we'd love to hear from you. Message us on social media or email us at info@cast-party.com. Thanks very much for listening. And now, back to our adventure in Baldur's Gate. I'm going to go ahead and ask for one of you, doesn't matter who, to roll a d12. And that will determine what time of the night it is. It matters for reasons you'll see.
3.
It is 11 o'clock. Okay. That said, you guys have just exited from the Elfsong Tavern after the ridiculous fight that you guys got yourselves into with Tarina's pirate friends. Tarina has informed you that there is a nearby hideout that's not too far from your location. That seems to be the meeting place of followers of the Dead Three.
May I ask a question?
Sure.
What did we do with the 2 pirates we captured?
You tied them up and then left the scene.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'd just like to have a word with Alan before we leave the Elfsong Tavern.
Absolutely.
I say, Alan, bit of a kerfuffle upstairs. Sorry, mate, we did have to defend ourselves. Plenty of witnesses. They just came at us with everything they had, looking to rough up one of the penchant players. There's a couple of them we left tied up upstairs in the gaming room in case any questions need to be answered about exactly what they was doing. But look, mate, was wondering that half-orc you've got working security, Schooner.
She's a half-ogre.
A half-ogre,
You don't want to
sorry.
call her a half-orc. She's way too big to be.
Yeah, no, I did notice her size. And I was wondering, when she clocks out for the night.
Well, we go till 3-4 in the morning. That's the way things... Yeah.
It's just I've got a specialist job and could use a bit of muscle, and was wondering if I sort of dangle the necklace that Hylan pilfered off of Deadeye.
Yeah.
If she might be available for just a couple of hours, help us out.
I would love to do nothing more than to get Schooner off my hands for about 3 or 4 hours, but unfortunately she's in, and he puts his hand to the side of his, she's in the Union. And if word got back to the Union...
Yeah, we can't mess with that.
They come for me and my lovely little establishment here.
Oh, say no more. Surely Clank isn't, though.
Right, you point over a Clank sort of, his metallic head just like turns in your direction, and Alan says, well, Clank he's kind of magically attuned to my tavern. He can't actually leave. Yeah.
That's just sort of sad to hear that. I mean,
no,
it's a
Clank
nice place, but
Clank loves it here.
All right.
Am I right, Clank? Clank puts up a single thumbs up, and then puts his hand back to his side.
What was the guy's name who had the mom sword?
His name was Hall.
Right. Okay.
Well, he's a customer.
Yeah, he's not on my payroll.
I say, Hall, well swung, with Mom and everything. Well struck. We certainly gave them what for. Was wondering, got plans for the rest of the evening, because there's more trouble when that came from, and we could use a little bit of extra muscle. And I sort of dangle that same necklace that Hylan pilfered from Deadeye.
Hall, who has been badly beaten about the head and shoulders and stabbed multiple times, walks over to you. Many of the patrons in the bar who see him come down from upstairs sort of go, oh, that's pretty good. And then Hall sort of walks over to you and looks at the golden necklace that you pilfered off of the pirate captain and says, oh, I don't know. It's kind of late. I was hoping to get home and, not die. But is that which you're offering?
The necklace, and I'll tell you what, I'll give you a bit of a patch-up, since we've all had a bit of fun, and we're a little bit the worse for wear. So the necklace, and just patch you up a bit. In just a couple of hours, we'll be on our way. You can trust me, I'm a paladin.
Oh, no paladins. Not really familiar with them, but...
You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. I just...
I'm sure he's been better.
Yeah, it's tomorrow morning. I've got a lot of rats that I've got to catch. It's my job. Rat catcher in Baldur's Gate. Work never ends.
And an important job it is. I just thought, sometimes a bit of change does us good. A little bit of excitement. Last chance. Let's try and introduce something new into your life, Hall. A new flavor for you. If you don't want it, that's fine. I'll keep my necklace.
He's been hit in the head quite a bit.
As I understand, I've been hit in the head several times. Go ahead and make a persuasion check, please, Renascence.
A 10.
Hall says, listen, I can't do nothing for you, but here. And he hands you his mace. Listen, I'm here most nights. If you're doing dangerous stuff, then just hit them on the head until they fall over, and then if they fall over and they start to get back up, you just hit them again, eh? That's what I do most of the rats, except they don't usually get back up.
I appreciate the advice, and I appreciate the loan of Mom. I'll bring it back to you tomorrow. She won't get a scratch.
Fantastic. Now, excuse me while I go and bandage my awful wounds. Ugh. And he walks out the door.
What about our little bloodthirsty gnome friend? Did she ever give us her name?
No, that's a halfling, and it almost pretty much killed me during that fight. So no, I'm not going to be paying for her. She's got to learn a thing or two about friendly fire before I take her to any temples.
It's a bit of a loose cannon.
Fair enough. I liked her.
Me too.
Well, she didn't thunderwave you, so.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose that's true.
So I examined this mace, Mom. I suppose it is just a mace with Mom carved on it.
That is exactly right. Unless you want to detect to see if it has any kind of magical symbols on it, or spend 10 minutes to ritual cast detect magic, any of you, then you can certainly determine if it is magical or not.
If somebody wants to do that, I would like to look in the pouch that I got off of Deadeye's body.
Great.
Corbin is not going to cast detect magic. In fact, he looks sort of angry right now. He can't really hide it very well.
Corbin, what's going on?
Corbin, Did you think I know what it is? This necklace is for the church, right, Corbin?
That's right.
And you thought I was going to give it to that half ogre, and then you thought I was going to give it to that half orc. No worries, mate. It's not going anywhere. Except
You've been offering it up pretty free.
No worries. It's all going to be either given to the church or I'm going to pay an equal amount in compensation myself. I wouldn't rob the crying god.
All right.
Hylan, in Deadeye's pouch, there are, you counted out quickly, there are 32 gold pieces and 15 silver pieces.
Fantastic. I'll divide it up as evenly as I can.
Okay. Where's your next port of call, folks?
So, being unsuccessful in recruiting some hench persons, we will proceed forthwith to the bathhouse described by Tarina.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, do we need to... Is everyone all right?
I feel like Ofelia might need a second.
I'm feeling all right. Thanks, everyone.
Good.
All right.
No one touched me. I'm good.
It's almost midnight. Let's head over to that bathhouse.
Okay. It would probably take you about a 20-minute walk. But it is late at night, so none of the shops are open if you were intending to get any kind of shopping done.
But I wanted to do a whole episode of shopping.
I know. Everyone loves shopping.
We're not in the business of shopping episodes.
With my 8 gold pieces.
The audience needn't worry. Every third episode will just be 2 hours of shopping.
Okay, Matt, I do have a serious question for the DM.
Sure. Yeah.
Knowing the city, as presumably we all do, is there a path that we know is like a little bit shorter, a little quicker, or a little less?
A little safer.
I'm going to go ahead and say, well, first of all, I want everyone to look at their survival, please, and tell me what you have.
+1.
+1.
+3.
+2.
Okay. You probably asked that amongst the group. And of the 4 of you, Corbin probably knows the streets and alleyways better than the other 3 of you, maybe having gone to lengths to either hide in certain dark alleys or perhaps attending to the needy, for example. So I think that if you want, Corbin, go ahead and make a survival roll, and you might be able to cut off some of the time by going through certain shortcuts.
All right. 11.
Okay.
May I make a pitch?
Pitch me.
Feel free to shoot me down. I have the Baldur's Gate criminal background, and I actually live in the lower city. So I don't know if I could assist him with telling him, like, down this corner is where this gang is, and over here is where these people are. I don't know if I would have supplementary information.
Sure. The bathhouse is just close to the cusp of where the upper city is and the lower city is. So
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and, say that's fine. You can roll it again with advantage, Corbin, after you discuss with Hylan.
That would be a 13.
Well, that's better.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and say with a 13, you cut off maybe 5 minutes of your time. Not too much, but I think it's that time of night. You're encountering people on their way to the Basilisk Gate to clearly exit the city, are being rebuffed by the Flaming Fist and are turned away, or are simply sort of trying to figure out what in the heck went on with Elturel as you pass by crowds of people. However, you're able to sort of skirt around them, find back alleyways, and get to the bathhouse just a little bit before, let's say, 1:45 midnight.
As we go, I would just like to keep an eye out, see if anyone follows us from the elf song.
Make a perception check.
18.
You glance behind yourself on the way to the bathhouse. You do not see anybody following you.
Does this look like it matches the description? Do I see some nymphs?
Yes, when you arrive, the bathhouse is, in fact, a one-story stuccoed building with stained glass windows and clay roof tiles. And there are 10-foot walls enclosing a large courtyard outside the southeast corner of the building. There are closed wooden doors to the courtyard, and those doors are engraved with images of smiling nymphs dancing and frolicking in water.
I say, one thing I learned at Ilmater's School for Friendless Boys is never go in the front door if you can help it. So, if anyone would like to join me, I'd just like to maybe take a casual stroll around the building and see if I notice any other entrances or exits.
Yes, I would like to do so, and I would like to do so stealthily.
Okay. Please roll stealth for me, Hylan.
I got an 8.
Okay. You start to look for dark alleyways or dark shadows to cling to in order to look around. And Hylan, unfortunately, you see a rather sizable shape. And when you get close to it, you realize that it is a rat about the size of a small cat. And it looks up at you and goes, and it hisses at you and then runs into the darkness, making you sort of, I don't know, what's your reaction to a rat that size?
I just say, Jesus. No, I don't say Jesus. That doesn't make sense. I say...
Who's Jesus?
I don't know.
Weird. I just made up a word. I was so disturbed. I just say, God damn it.
And that echoes through the entire area. Corbin, Renascence, and Ofelia, you hear it. But you are able to go and look around the area for what you consider to be a back door. These two rather sizable double doors in front of you, however, seem to be the indication of the way in.
Is this a public bathhouse?
You don't see any signs or any indication that say public or private other way.
Knowing that I'm not stealthy, I just sort of start strolling around to the east side of the building, staggering a bit like I'm just a drunken wanderer. And I'll try to go around the corner if I can. Just sort of singing a little bit under my breath. Full fathom 5 thy father lies. Of his bones are coral made. Those are pearls that were his eyes. Nothing of him but doth fade, but doth suffer a sea change. If nothing's going to stop me, I'm going to try to fully circumnavigate this building.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, you do get about halfway around, and you realize that you can't actually get all the way around, as it sort of abuts into another building directly next to it.
Right. I stagger around out front, and then, I'll try to go around to the west side.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with you.
Okay. On this side of the bathhouse, you see that there's a small metal grate there, right next to the wall, and a darkened window, perhaps made out of some kind of stained glass, which you look at and you see that the inside of the glass seems to be wet with condensation.
This looks like a sewer grate.
It does look like a sewer grate of some kind, yeah.
I'll sort of put my hands on my knees like I'm going to retch, and then try to use that to take a gander at this grate, see if it's got like a latch or hinges, if there's any way that looks like it could be opened.
I'll sort of pat him on the back.
Okay, make an investigation check.
Oh, good. I'll tell you what, before...
Can I help you? I would like to also look in there while I'm patting him on the back.
Okay, make it with advantage. Go ahead and... are you trained in investigation, Hylan?
I am.
Okay.
So I perfectly imitate the ritual that Corbin performed when he gave me guidance at Basilisk Gate earlier this evening. And I gesture and then lay the hand on my own shoulder and cast guidance on myself.
Okay.
See, it's all ritual and dogma, love. So that's a 3 for the guidance. Now I've got advantage on the investigation roll, which, thank God, so it's 16.
Okay. You do a pretty swift look over of this metal grate. You don't see any kind of latch. It's very clear that these bars are set into the stone frame around them, are mortised in. There's no way to open this particular grate, but that said, you do hear the sound of water underneath it, as well as what you can barely make out as sounds. You hear human voices. You can't really, however, make out what they're saying because it's just too far away from your position.
I say, I possibly could rip this open, but I feel like it's going to make a lot of noise.
I think it's too loud. We should keep looking.
All right. I just continue walking around, see if I hit a similar sort of dead end.
Okay. And fortunately you do. You walk around pretty much the entire building and see that it, again, abuts into a building next door to it.
Got it.
But you do happen to see windows, and you can see individuals inside this bathhouse, or at least their shapes. You see people wearing terry cloth robes, standing in what you can only assume to be the bathhouse itself, with steam coming out of these enormous pools.
I circle back round front to Corbin and Ofelia, and I explain to them about the sewer grate that I found and how I heard voices down there. Now, I think it might be a way in, but it doesn't open really, and I feel like if we did it by force, it would be quite noisy. Do any of you have an idea about how we might get in that way?
I think we should go in the front door. It's right there.
Yeah, maybe we just need a bath.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all filthy. We just had a fight, so...
That's true, I'm a mess.
All right. Ofelia, you sort of look the friendliest. Do you want to go first?
Sure, I'd be happy to give it a shot. I may look the worst out of all of us.
Wait, before you go in, I thought you fought really well and bravely at the bar. I would like to give you a blessing.
And I touch her on the top of the head, and I give her Vigilant Blessing. So on the next initiative roll, you have advantage.
Thank you, Corbin.
And then I'm going to give her guidance as well. Persuade your way in here, please.
And I give her guidance.
Okay. Well, I'll do my best. I knock on the door.
You knock at the door, there is no sound from inside.
I attempt to open the door.
The door is unlocked and just opens soundlessly.
I walk in through the doors.
Okay. This L-shaped courtyard features a trimmed lawn and nicely manicured shrubbery. The yard is decorated with white marble benches and stone fountains, each in the form of a smiling nymph tipping a jug that spills water into a circular stone basin.
Do we see any doors or entryways out of the courtyard?
Not from where you
Not from where
are
we
at
are.
this point. You look
Okay.
up and down. The whole area is walled in.
Serena said there was a secret door that led down to the dungeon. Does anyone remember, did she mention if the secret door was outside or inside the bathhouse building?
No,
I don't believe she said.
She didn't say.
we'll just have to find it.
Okay. Well, I want to examine the statue that is in the corner.
Okay. It is a statue of a nymph tipping a jug into that basin. Nothing outwardly strange about it.
I start tapping it, looking for any sort of hidden button or lever, just poking around.
You don't notice anything strange about it or any kind of hidden levers.
Okay, I am going to walk towards the opposite water feature and then take a left. And I would like to examine the walls behind the bushes around that fountain.
All right. Make an investigation check.
I will tap her on the forehead and give her guidance.
Thank you.
What'd you get?
I got a 22.
With a 22, you see that these walls are very well built. They are beautiful stone, mortared very, very nicely. It seems like not a lot of wear and tear. Whoever put money into this place clearly wanted this place to look spectacular. But beyond that, you don't see any kind of secret doors, secret levers, secret entrances or exits.
I think the door's inside.
Ofelia, you're going to go in first?
Yeah, I will walk through the doors first, as I said I would. They're open.
The doors, in fact, open. So you go ahead and you open the door, which illuminates the inside of this bathhouse. And the walls of this 20-foot-high pillared chamber are adorned with frescoes of bathing royalty. Natural moonlight streams through stained glass windows, creating colorful patterns on the tiles of polished blue marble that cover the floor. As you see from your position, there are 3 shallow sunken pools containing scintillating perfume-scented water. White marble benches bearing stacks of dry towels are situated near the pools, each of which come seemingly equipped with a pair of brass faucets. There are 3 commoners inside this bathhouse, and as the door opens, they all turn to look at you.
Hello, Ofelia says as she tentatively steps through the door.
One of the men in this bathhouse removes a towel from his face, looking at you. You see him, he's a sort of middle-aged man with dark circles under his eyes and says, you're going to have to wait your turn. We've quite a long list. But I hear they're closing up tonight, so I might be, I might be the last person here.
Well, we walked a long way.
Yes, as my friend said, we've come a long way, and as you can see, we're really in desperate need of a bath. We ran into some trouble earlier, and it would make such a difference to us if you could squeeze us in.
It's not me. I'm simply a customer here like everyone else, but you might want to talk to the masseur and masseuse. Jabaz, and a door opens, and out walks a human. You can't quite tell if it's a man or a woman. Very defined features, very soft eyes, but wearing a shift dress. When the voice comes, very androgynous sounding. No hair on the head. Yes? Yes, it seems like we might have some additional customers tonight, so I don't know what you wanted to do. You're closing at midnight, correct? Yes, we are closing at midnight.
I start pushing my way in a bit from the back, and I say, "Pardon me, everyone. Rat catcher here, from the League. I've had some reports of some rather large vermin in and around this facility. This young lady here says she saw a rat roughly the size of a cat.
It's definitely a large cat.
It seemed like it scurried inside here through the garden, worried that it might have gotten into one of the baths. If I could just ask everyone to please step out into the garden while we have a look for it. This thing, it would chomp your arm off."
One of the women inside the bath to the south of you grabs for her clothes and just jumps out of the bath and immediately wraps herself with her clothing and just runs out the door, screaming.
It's all right. The professionals are here. If everyone could please, dangerous to run in the pool area, but if you could just please quickly and calmly make your way out into the garden, we'll be out of here as soon as possible.
Jabaz, or so named, looks at you and says, "I do not understand. Rats? We do not have rats in here."
Well, you'd say that, wouldn't you?
Of course I have said that.
Certainly in your interest to maintain that fiction in front of your customers.
Fiction? I do not understand. Who are you?
Rat catcher. I draw the thimble and string. I put it in the center of my palm. Rat detector. And I pull the string, and I'm going to use divine sense.
Okay.
Strong evil registers on my senses like a noxious odor, and powerful good, and I don't expect there's any in here, rings like heavenly music in my ears. So I know the location of any celestial, fiend, or undead within 60 feet of me, and I know the type. I also know if this place is consecrated or desecrated.
Hello.
Renascence, you become very much aware, unfortunately, of nothing within your divine senses. There are no celestial fiends or undead within 60 feet of you, and the place does not seem desecrated or consecrated.
Right. This room's clear. I'll just have a look in the back.
Jabaz says, wait, what do you mean clear? You are a rat catcher. You must scour the area for rats, right? Or no?
Yes, of course.
I'll look over here. I'll never forget that face. And I'll just start going to the right corner behind the uppermost bathtub.
Everyone spread out. Could be rats everywhere.
Hylan, as you move up to the northern bath, you look inside and there is a man who has clearly fallen asleep with his head just outside of the bath. He's snoring loudly.
Okay.
Corbin's going to look in this room in the south since the door's open.
Okay. As you look inside this room, Corbin, you see that there is a hole cut in the table itself, presumably for someone's face when they get a massage.
Corbin has no idea what this is.
That's true.
I mean,
Never
he's
mind.
never had a massage, but he's just going to barge in here and just start looking around.
All right.
Make sure you check under that massage table, Corbin. That's exactly where a rat would hide.
This one with the hole in it?
Yeah, check under it. Check the floor, especially the floor.
All right.
I'll just have a look in this other room up here.
So Corbin will crawl down.
While he's doing that, Renascence will knock on the door of the northern room.
Okay. You knock on the door, and you hear a voice from inside. Yes? Yes, who is it?
Rat Cacher, City of Baldur's Gate. We've had a report of an infestation. Can I ask you to step out here, please?
You hear footsteps padding to the door, and then the door opens, and inside this room, there is another individual, also in a white shift. She has short bob haircut and bright green eyes, and she says, "I'm sorry, did you say rats?
Yeah, sorry to disturb you, miss. We've had a report of a rather sizable rat entering this facility. It won't be a minute. If I could just have a quick look around, wouldn't want you to get your toes snapped off while you're having a massage.
I do not know if that's a good idea. And she sort of looks past you, Renascence, to this individual, Jabaz, and sort of raises her eyebrows.
I say, well, perhaps you've seen a rodent. It's all right, miss. I'll keep it between us. No need to get the city authorities involved. Just let me have a quick nip in. I'll take care of it myself.
Jabaz from behind you sort of moves close to you, Renascence, and says, "Excuse me, I need to see your credentials, Mr. Ratcatcher."
Of course you do. I start patting my pockets. I've got them. Right.
I'm just gonna go next to him and say, I have never seen a rat like this. It was as if 20 rats got together and put on a rat suit and made one giant rat. It was... You really don't want anything like that in here. No one will ever come in here again.
I'm sorry, Miss Nemo. I looked back at them and I thought, Patriarch's daughter, you know how it is. She just rousted me in the middle of the night and I came away without my rat catching equipment and my badge. But I don't want her to report me to a patriarch father, you know? So I've just got to get the rat and be on my way.
At this point, I would like you to make a deception check, Renascence.
Oh, the tangled web we weave.
Daddy pays you good money.
Well, I did get a 21.
Okay. The female, who has yet to be named, looks at you, looks at Hylan, and says, I'm very shocked to hear that we have rats. I've only been working here for about 2 weeks, but I don't know, Jabaz. What should we do? We're about to close up, am I right? Yes, Gurmila, I believe that we must wait for our nighttime guards before we...
Put it this way. Quick casual look with just a few of us in and out, no trouble. Or we come back here in the morning with 20 representatives of the Rat Catchers Guild, turn the place completely upside down, maybe bring along a few flaming fists as well.
My daddy just has a thing with rats. He doesn't think they're acceptable, even in the lower city.
I don't think that's a good idea. Am I right, Jabaz? No,
No, of course it's not. Glad we agree on that. I try to push past her into this room, if I can.
Absolutely. You sort of shove past her, and Jabaz and Gurmila, the two employees of this place, sort of stand looking at your activities and then immediately run out the door.
I'm going to run right into this room and start looking for where the secret door is.
Okay. Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
12.
Okay. Yeah, you look around the room and you are able to determine that right at the northern wall of the room which you and Renascence are currently in, there is a very small seam that seems to indicate that that wall does not match flushly with the other wall.
Corbin, Ofelia, it's in here.
Ofelia follows into the other room.
Corbin goes as well.
Okay.
Renascence, try not to use my fake name.
Do you want me to use your real name?
No, I want you to make up a name.
Have you got a third fake name?
Yeah, just make one up.
Sort of an auxiliary name.
Yeah, and any name you think of. I
Muffin.
mean, that's great.
Okay.
I think that would have been perfect for her.
All right, Muffin. Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, that's not your name?
It's best
Christ.
if I don't use my real name. As you could see, a man came in and read my fake name out in a tavern, and so it's best not to use your own when you're in my line of work.
So, Corbin, we're going to use like a nickname for her, you know, Muffin. It's like between friends.
Or it could be something you think of, Corbin.
Yeah.
We don't have to settle on Muffin. We can workshop it.
Yeah.
How about
Well done.
how about Sneak Thief?
No, that's not
That might
the
be
right
a bit
message.
too on the
Well,
nose.
You know, think image crafting, Corbin.
What?
I don't know.
I like Muffin. Let's go with Muffin. I'm going with Muffin. I push on the secret door.
Thanks for listening.
This episode featured Tal Aviezer as Renascence, Andy Cannistra as Painbearer Corbin Shiv, Carolyn Fox as Hylan, Rachel Tamarin as Ofelia, and me, Matt Gordon, as the Dungeon Master. This episode was edited by Carolyn Fox, and our theme music is by Lauren Anker and Anthony DiMasso. Some sound effects in this episode are courtesy of Syrinscape. Remember, if you enjoyed Podcast Party Descent into Avernus, please subscribe to the show, rate us, and leave us a review. Thanks very much for listening. We'll be back in 2 weeks with the next episode.
That's right. We'll just throw this in the shit can.
Yeah. I'll just set my computer on fire.